Welcome to the bench. Today, you are the judge. You are the only person who gets to decide the fate of a 15-year marriage. You will hear from both sides. You will see the evidence. And at the end of this hearing, I need you to go to the comments and deliver your verdict. Is it a fair divorce settlement, or is it a betrayal that deserves nothing? Let's meet our parties. On one side, we have Sarah. She is a school teacher who spent 15 years building a life, a home, and a family. On the other side, we have Mark. Mark is a successful architect who, according to Sarah, has been living a complete double life. Sarah, the floor is yours. Tell the judge why we are here today.
Your Honor, I am here because I realized I have been married to a stranger. For 15 years, I thought we were a team. We shared a bank account. We shared a calendar. We shared our dreams. Or so I thought. 2 months ago, I was looking for a misplaced tax document in our home office. I found a key to a safe deposit box at a bank we don't even use. When I finally gained access to that box, I didn't find jewelry or a will. I found bank statements for a secret account in Mark's name. Mark has been siphoning off 10% of his salary for over a decade. While I was clipping coupons and choosing the generic brand of cereal to make sure our kids could go to summer camp, Mark was sitting on a mountain of nearly $200,000. He watched me stress about the mortgage. He watched me cry when the car broke down and we didn't know how to pay for the repairs. He let me live in a state of constant financial anxiety while he was a secret millionaire. I am filing for divorce, and I am asking for 70% of our total assets because of this massive, decade-long deception.
Judge, look at the evidence Sarah is presenting. She feels used. She feels like the last 15 years were a performance. She argues that marriage is a partnership, and Mark broke the fundamental contract of honesty. But now, we have to hear from the defendant. Mark, you've heard the accusation. You've seen the hurt in your wife's eyes. How do you justify hiding $200,000 from the woman you claim to love?
Judge, I know how this looks. I know the word secret sounds like a betrayal, but I want you to look at the context before you judge me. When Sarah and I got married, her father had just lost everything in a bad business deal. I saw the way it destroyed her family. I saw her mother left with nothing, forced to move into a tiny apartment in her 60s because they had no safety net. I made a vow to myself that day. I promised that no matter what happened to my job or the economy, Sarah would never, ever be homeless. I started that account as an emergency fund. I didn't tell her because Sarah is a giver. She has a heart of gold, but she is financially impulsive. If she knew that money was there, she would have given it away to her siblings or spent it on a bigger house we couldn't afford to maintain. Every time she stressed about the mortgage, I knew in the back of my mind that we were safe. That money wasn't for me to buy a sports car. It wasn't for a mistress. It was for us. It was for our retirement. It was for the what-if scenarios that keep men up at night. I didn't spend a single cent of it on myself. Not one. I lived as frugally as she did. I sacrificed too. I hid it to protect her from her own nature and to protect our future. Is it really a crime to ensure your family's survival?
Now, Judge, the case gets complicated. Sarah is back on the stand.
Mark, you say you did it for us. But when my mother needed that surgery 3 years ago, and we told her we couldn't help her because our savings were too low, you sat there and stayed silent. You let my mother suffer in pain for an extra year while she waited for public assistance. You had the money in a box 10 minutes away. How was that for us? That was for your ego. You wanted to feel like a hero with a secret, while I felt like a failure because I couldn't help my own parent. You didn't protect me, Mark. You controlled me. You took away my right to make choices about my own life. You treated me like a child who couldn't be trusted with the truth. That isn't a marriage. That's a hostage situation.
Judge, consider what Sarah just said. This isn't just about the money anymore. It's about the power dynamic. It's about the fact that she was denied the truth during a family crisis. Mark, what is your response to the surgery?
Sarah, your mother's surgery was elective. It was important, yes, but it wasn't life-threatening. If I had opened that floodgate, the money would have been gone in 6 months. Your family views us as a bank. If I told you about the 200,000, word would have spread. I wasn't just protecting you from yourself. I was protecting our future from the endless needs of your extended family. I am a good husband. I have never cheated. I have never raised my voice. I have worked 60 hours a week for 15 years. I am being treated like a criminal because I was responsible. Sarah wants to take 70% of everything. That would include the secret account and the house. She wants to penalize me for being the only person in the room who was thinking about 20 years down the road.
Judge, let's look at the legal and emotional facts of this case. In many states, hiding assets during a marriage is considered financial fraud. It can lead to a judge awarding a much higher percentage of the estate to the spouse who was lied to. But on the other side, Mark never spent the money. It is still there. It has grown. It has provided a safety net that they now actually have. If Mark had spent that money on a gambling habit or a secret lifestyle, the decision would be easy. But he saved it. He lived a double life of frugality. Sarah feels that the emotional trauma of the lie outweighs the financial benefit of the savings. She says the trust is dead. She looks at the man she slept next to for over 5,000 nights and realizes she didn't know his true net worth or his true thoughts. Mark feels that he is being punished for being a provider. He feels that Sarah is being ungrateful for the security he worked so hard to build. He argues that he shouldn't be ruined financially just because he kept a secret that was intended for their mutual benefit. So, Judge, it is time for you to deliberate. This is where your voice matters. We have a husband who lied to provide security. We have a wife who was kept in the dark while her family suffered. If you were sitting on the bench today, how would you rule? Would you give Sarah the 70% she's asking for as a deception tax? Or would you split everything 50-50, acknowledging that while Mark lied, his intentions were to save the family, not destroy it? Does the why behind a lie matter in a marriage, or is a lie, regardless of the bank balance? I want you to think about the surgery Sarah mentioned. If you were in her shoes, could you ever forgive your spouse for holding back money while your parent was in pain? And if you were in Mark's shoes, would you feel like you had to hide it because your spouse just doesn't understand the value of a dollar? This is a crossroads for this family. Your decision in the comments will represent the jury of the people. Before you post your verdict, consider this. If they stay together, can the trust ever be rebuilt? Or is the discovery of a secret account just the tip of the iceberg? What else could be in that safe deposit box? Go to the comments right now. Write guilty if you think Mark's actions are a total betrayal of the marriage contract. Write not guilty if you think he was just doing his job as a provider and Sarah is overreacting. And most importantly, tell us why. Tell us if you've ever experienced something like this. The court is now in recess while we wait for your verdict.